Good morning, everybody, and welcome to what I cannot believe is already week 5 of the bus build. I am so excited to be recording today because this week is about to be super transformative. I've got walls going up, the ceilings going in, I'm building the electrical system, I'm gonna start on plumbing, we're gonna have a wet bath area situation over here, I'm gonna finish my garage, install my bed, like everything feels like it's happening this week, and if I can squeeze it in, I might even be painting. If this is your first time watching, you might be wondering why I am under such a time crunch, but I am headed out to Colorado in like the 1.5 week of May. I'm trying to leave by the 9th, which means I have about 11 days to get all of the rest of this done, or at least to get it livable, which was my goal when I started back in the first week of April. Before I could start installing my ceiling and other structures though, I needed to make sure that everything that was going to be run with wires through my ceiling was installed, because obviously after I installed my ceiling, all of this would be inaccessible. So these were just the solar wires that I made sure were long enough first. Super stoked on that, because in my van they were definitely not long enough and they were a little bit too tight for my liking, as well as some light fixtures, my fan, and other things that are going to be run up to the front of the bus. I was really proud of myself with this build, especially considering the limited time that I had, because I actually took the time this build and had the confidence to properly size all of my wires, as opposed to last build where I essentially ran all of my wires as 12 gauge, which was definitely oversized and not at all necessary. Once the wires were all run, thank you so much, Mom. There is no way, in my opinion, to put up this plywood ceiling, even with 2x4 supports, by yourself. I absolutely love how this came out. I think the gaps are just about as tight as they possibly could be, and it's going to look beautiful when I finally seal and finish it. Once pre-wiring was finished, I finally got a good start on my electrical board, which will be stored in the garage. This process went so much faster, and I feel so much more confident than I did the first time around with my van. I'm following a very similar layout and using a lot of the same tools and components, so that definitely helps. But I will say, if you have done this before and you're thinking about doing a second build, 9 times out of 10, things will go faster than they did the first time. Good morning, everybody. There are going to be a few different changes to my plan today, because last night doing electrical, I didn't quite cut off the tip of my finger, but I sliced it pretty bad, my fingernail, my fingertip. And so I'm going to be taking the day off of like heavy duty activities like picking up big sheets of plywood. Originally I was planning on spraying the bus, but unfortunately the timing of this project did not line up well with the availability of a compressor, and so what I'm going to do instead is just roll it and hand paint it. Obviously it's not going to look as airbrushed, as spotless as it would have if I would have sprayed it, but it will allow me to really get into all the nooks and crannies without having to tape off quite so heavily. I have about 7 days until I leave. That's the goal, at least. I do have some flexibility, but 7 days is really the goal. So let's see if I can get it done. When I first bought my bus, I knew that I wanted to take these little knobs off, but I had no idea what they were. Come to find out, they are these little like check-in buttons for people who drive buses. So I took all those off and got a head start on sanding the bus down before giving it a good rinse, just to get any of that excessive dust and debris off of the bus before starting the paint job. In addition, I brought some acetone with me, so that way when I started painting, I could wipe down the area right before I painted it, because as you can see, it was a little bit windy and I was super concerned about lots of dust, debris, grass, and bugs getting under the paint job that I was gonna spend countless hours on. There are hard water spots on this lens. I apologize if you guys can see that. I can't really tell it here, but that took about 5 hours to sand, remove extra decals, and to kind of quickly rinse off the bus. I am okay with this not being perfect. I'm gonna do the best that I can with the time that I have and get to painting. And I'm really excited to show you guys what color I chose. That looks super white, I promise you it's not. It is a nice like cream color tan and I absolutely love it and I'm super excited to get painting with it. Alright, so as you guys can kind of see behind me in the details, I did not finish the paint job today. I think I'm about 60 to 70% of the way there, and I say that because even though it looks like most of the surface area is covered, it's a lot of the details, a lot of the cutting in that I still have to do, some of the high up stuff that I didn't bother getting the ladder out for today, and just told myself I will get to that the next time I paint. Well, I just ran into the inevitable end of build. Oh my god, I can't believe I just ran out of this. I ran out of window screen and right now all I have left is this little tiny piece that both fails to cover the window width-wise and height-wise. And before I can install these walls as well as my shower walls, I have to install privacy film because once the walls are in, they block the edges of the window, like just barely, but it's enough to where if I can't smooth out the edges, I'm gonna have air gaps. I'm gonna have to replace it at some point, which is gonna mean taking out the walls to do it properly. It's just time at this point, so I'm gonna go as fast as I can and I will be back with window film. One quick note about this window film, 10 out of 10 recommend. The first film I bought was like $12 on Amazon. It was a cheap option, it was fine, but it probably took about an hour to do each window. This stuff went up so freaking quickly. I got each window, even the first one, done in under 5 minutes. There are no air bubbles, there's no gaps. It went on so smooth, so easy, and just cannot speak highly enough about it. If you guys are considering doing privacy window film in your bus, if you can, maybe spend a little bit more and it will turn out so much better than anything else you can buy online. For this design to work, it's really important that I hit the wood stud that's like in my garage. It makes up my bed frame behind this wall because this wall is going to get all of its strength from that stud. Everything is essentially going to be attached to this wall and also to the wall behind it and the ground, but honestly, like, if something were to happen, an accident, whatever, like all of the strength is going to come from this bed frame because this bed is anchored to the floor and to 4 points on all the walls. And so it's super important that I hit that stud. I'm going to try to find it and then we will build everything off of this wall that is then anchored to a straight 90-degree angle from the bed. All right, in theory, this sounded super easy, and with the table saw, it is a lot easier, but making anything perfectly square in a vehicle that is not perfectly square is really hard. So if you're doing this, just be patient with yourself. I dropped this on my head like 4 times before I finally got it. Deep breaths, you got this. Today has been long. Not even that hard, but just like hot and long, and I'm tired, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe I have a skewed perception because I'm making videos about myself, but I feel like generally speaking, I've been very like, woo, like we're gonna go get it, we're gonna do it, I'm gonna finish on time, because that's how you have to be, right? Like you can't be a downer, you can't tell yourself you're not gonna do it because then you won't. And I'm not saying this because I don't think I'm gonna do it. I think I will get what I need to get done and the rest will happen when it happens. But I've just like been inflating that a little bit, maybe more than I otherwise would have, because I got a few comments lately talking about how negative I am, which is interesting to me because I feel like I'm a pretty positive person. And so I kind of purposefully was like not showing the extra hard parts, which is a bummer because like, most of you, I would think, are here for a few reasons. One, maybe you're wanting to build a bus of your own. 2, maybe you just found my page and you're like, weird, interesting. I want to follow this and see if she finishes. And if those are the reasons why, like, I'm not showing you guys the accurate, like, I'm tired at the end of the day, oops, I forgot to eat lunch until 4 o'clock, am I gonna finish version of myself, which is silly, and I'm sorry. Because there's this side too. Like, I am very optimistic and positive and let's go do it. And sometimes I also wonder if I'm gonna finish. And sometimes I get tired, and that's okay. This is a crazy project, a 6-week crazy project. Not even 6 weeks, like 5.5. And it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna fuel myself. I'm gonna rest a little bit. I'm gonna cool off because it's hot as heck outside. And then I'm gonna go finish putting in the other walls. I'm gonna get my cabinet in, my like countertop. I'm gonna cut a hole for my oven and my sink, and we're just gonna keep plugging. We're gonna keep plugging along. Tomorrow morning I have a tire appointment, so I'm gonna go to that. And I'll edit this video because I am not editing at night because I'm working until like 11 p.m. usually on the bus. And then I'll have about a day and a half of full, like, I don't have work. I'm just gonna be building the bus. And then it's time to pack. So today is important. This is valuable time. I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna go work on the bus, and I will see you guys later.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun.
I actually can't believe that just worked. Well, I hope it's the right size. I don't want to take this back down.
Let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. You and I, the future is bright.
Alright, you guys, the sun is setting. My lens is very dusty, I'm realizing. Sorry about that. And my battery is about to die soon. I have a lot more on my list tonight. I want to install my sink. I want to drop in and secure my oven. I haven't run the propane yet, but I want to get it in place because right now it's just sitting outside, which is silly. I don't want it to get corroded or, you know, have weather impact it. I think I'm also going to try to run some more of my wiring. I'm gonna wait until daylight to hook everything up in the back and to secure my batteries. I think I might also get some just like simple straps to not only secure my batteries from the sides, but also like have something that goes over them. So that way they're even more secure. With the bumpy roads that I drive on, I figure it can't hurt. I'm gonna call the video for tonight. Tomorrow morning is going to be kind of a wash because we're getting new tires, which I'm really excited about. Most of the tires that I bought the bus with were okay, but they were kind of questionable. They had a lot of cracking going on, and with the amount of driving that I'm going to do in general, but also like my first trip is going to be over 1,000 miles in 2 days. I figure it can't hurt. If I'm gonna get tires soon anyways, I might as well get them right now. So I have a tire appointment, I'm going to get my oil changed and do other like basic maintenance, and then the goal is to have all of my electricity and plumbing done by Monday so that way I can go to DMV and register as an RV. That's why I've been waiting so long, is because California laws are pretty strict, and so I didn't want to risk being turned down and like having to go back again, wasting time, paperwork, all of that. So I'm hopeful that I will be able to get it done. I'm really excited to see you all next week and to see how this bus turns out. Next week is going to be a part build week, so I will be showing you the finishing touches. I won't be finishing the entire build, but I'll be showing you the finishing touches before I get on the road and then take you guys along, most likely, on my drive to Colorado. Thank you guys so much for being here this week. I know it's been kind of a crazy one. Lots of reflections, lots of new structures in the bus, which feels cool. The space is really shaping up, and I'm just really grateful to have you all here, to have this community, to be sharing this experience with. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you again for being here, and I will see you next Sunday.